I'm not really worried about the immigrant worker who's coming in to pick strawberries in
Neither me.
California. What I'm worried about is somebody other than a Hispanic coming across the border with a suitcase bomb.
There you go.
That's what I'm worried about.
But then right now we have no protection for that, and the federal government is not doing anything to protect us from that. And Doug, that's a reality, and that's a problem.
That's true. That's very true. We've just got a couple of minutes left in this segment, and I won't get into any kind of long questions for you, but one of the things I'd like to ask you is, what do you think the solution to some of these problems are? Is it more government regulation? Is it less government regulation? Is it less government, or is it more government?
It's less government. We have way too much government now. We need less government. We need to get rid of a lot of the agencies that are doing nothing. I would start with the EPA. They're doing nothing to protect the environment, but their regulations are destroying our economy. We need to put people back to work. That would solve a lot of the problems that we have with people on welfare. If people are working, they don't need the welfare. But the government has overregulated and overtaxed American industries to the point where they're going offshore. And that needs to stop. We need to have a business-friendly environment. There's nothing wrong with that. And we need to reduce all of these regulations. And you know, the American worker is the best in the world. They're the most efficient. If we get government off of the back of the American worker, we'll be just fine.
Is it not true that in America we pay the highest corporate tax in the world?
We absolutely do. Taxes are a problem, but that's only part of the problem. We have the most prohibitive regulations against business of any in the world, and it's the regulations as much as the taxes that are driving American companies offshore, and we need to have a better business-friendly solution.
We're all going to have to take a short break, but we'll be back with more of this interesting conversation in just a moment. Don't go away. Spotlight on Jackson County. We are continuing our interesting conversation with Mr. Ron Vincent. He is an undeclared candidate for U.S. Congress, District 4, right?
That's right. I guess one of the reasons I'm undeclared is I've got a talk show that's running, and that creates some problems with being a officially declared candidate.
Well, that's okay. We just want to talk to you about what you would do if you ran, and if you were elected. So there's a lot of ifs out there, but it doesn't hurt for us to talk to you about it.
Absolutely not.
We have a big problem down here, Ron, since Hurricane Katrina. A lot of people lost their homes. A lot of people couldn't afford to build their homes back to the new FEMA standards. If they did build their home back, we're talking thousands of dollars in insurance. I know people that try to buy homes down here, and when they figure everything out, sometimes their insurance and taxes are higher than their mortgage payment. So we've got a problem that we've lost population. You know, we lost a lot of people in Jackson County. We do have good industry here, but we need to make it so we can attract people back to the coast. And the insurance problem is one of the biggest problems.
Yep, I'm quite sure. But again, it goes back to government regulations. You just got through saying they have to build back to FEMA standards. We need to get the government out of this business. Let the people decide what kind of a house they want to build, and let the private insurance companies insure them the way they want to. And if the people want to take the risk, that's fine. The federal bureaucrats have no business making all of those decisions and running the prices up like we did. Now, look, Katrina was a problem. I was down here for Katrina. I rode it out. I wasn't on the coast. I was up in Hattiesburg, but it was pretty bad up there too. But you know, but again, the federal government gets in. When the federal government gets in and gets involved, it's a problem. And so we need to get the federal government out of it and the state government out of it.
Well, is it not true that there's not a lot of competition with insurance companies? They're kind of limited. In other words, you can't go national and buy an insurance policy. You're kind of limited to the number of companies that are within the state. Is that true?
Well, yes, that is true. But one of the reasons that is true is because the competition is somewhat restricted because of federal government regulations. And if we get the government out of it, the insurance companies will come back in. It's just like health insurance. You know, we drove out a lot of, because of government regulations, we drove out a lot of health insurance companies. And but if we just get the government out of it, and let's turn this back to a capitalist system, turn it back to a free country, and that would solve a lot of the problems. We just got to have smaller and less government intrusion, get the government out of our lives, let us handle the problems. We're perfectly capable of solving our own problems, get the government off the back of the people, get the government off the back of the workers, get the government off the back of the businesses. We're entirely too much taxes and too much regulations. Let the businesses be free, let them hire who they want, get the EPA out of it, and we'd be a lot better off, Doug.
What about, would you be a career politician?
Absolutely not. I have no intention of being a career politician. I will serve 2 terms max. That's it. I was being vetted by Club for Growth in Washington D.C. Last month, and they didn't like that. They wanted somebody that would stay up there. They said, if we're going to invest time and money in you, we want you to stay up there. Would you reconsider? And I said, no, not even for an endorsement from Club for Growth. As much as I admire them and respect them, I'm serving 2 terms. I'm not concerned with being reelected. I'm concerned with doing what's right for the people of Mississippi. The people of South Mississippi are my boss, and that's the only boss I'm going to have. I'm going to do what they say. I'm not going to do what Boehner says or anybody else. My boss are the people in South Mississippi. I'm going to ask my people, my constituents, my voters, what they want me to do, how they want me to vote, and what they want me to support. And they are the boss. And then I can sleep really good at night because I know I have represented them. I'm going to do what they want to do and nobody else. So if I don't get reelected, it's up to the people of South Mississippi, because I'm going to do what they tell me they want done.
So would you have open forums? Would you have town hall meetings? Would you have, because we don't really have too many of those.
No, we don't. We need to have a lot more. Our congressman has had 1 real town hall meeting since he's been elected the first time. And now he's had a lot of events he has attended, but they're basically safe events for him. He doesn't have to answer any hard questions. I would like to issue a challenge to Mr. Palazzo. I will debate you anywhere, anytime. I want you to explain why you voted for the National Defense Authorization Act. I want you to explain why you voted for the Super Committee, explain why you voted for the sequester, why you voted to extend the Patriot Act, and look at the dire consequences we've had from all of those programs, and our congressman voted for it. He's down here in Mississippi, down at the shipyard, saying, I'm working every day against the sequester, but he voted for the doggone thing. He was up in Hattiesburg last week complaining about the NSA, but he voted for the authorization for to extend the Patriot Act, and he voted for the National Defense Authorization. That's why we have it. So if you're going to work against it, when it comes up for a vote, that's the time. It's too late after you vote for it.
So you are issuing a challenge here on WKFK TV 7.
Absolutely.
That once you declare?
I'll do it right now. I'll do it anywhere, anytime. I want Stephen to explain his votes and why he's doing the things he's doing and why he's doing the things he's not doing.
Well, I'm sure you're not going to get him to say yes to a debate unless you are a declared candidate.
Well, I want to be officially declared. I can't be officially declared until January the 1st. That's when things really open up. I can get on the ballot, and I will sign the papers in Jackson to be officially declared candidate. And so I can't be official until that happens. But you know, Stephen doesn't have to wait for debate. I've challenged him before, and he hasn't taken me up on it.
Well, we had a Stephen Palazzo, Gene Taylor debate live here on WKFK. Would you come here and do that?
Absolutely. I think I saw that debate. Wasn't that the one where Stephen Palazzo very naively challenged Gene Taylor, that saying that Gene Taylor went to Iraq for a photo op?
Yes.
And Gene Taylor says, no, Stephen, I went there to see your unit, and you weren't there.
No, I don't remember.